Hello everybody, this is Rudra Pradhan here. Welcome to Engineering Econometrics, and today we will continue with a spreadsheet, and that too the use of Excel and Excel operation as per the requirement of data analysis and engineering econometrics. And in fact, in the last lecture we have discussed details about the Excel use and Excel operations, and we have analyzed what are the what are the advantages behind this Excel use or Excel operations. Now, to continue this this particular operation, what we have discussed earlier. So, any kind of engineering econometrics problem or engineering economics or engineering kind of any kind of engineering. So, we need to find out the kind of net balance while doing the investment, and then the kind of expectation of returns. So, the specific function which we have discussed earlier is the net present value, which is something depends on the kind of investment and the kind of returns. It is sometimes more complex when you connect with a long interval or some kind of more additional kind of integrations. So, in this case, so the return will be like this. So, means the idea behind this particular example is that, so Excel will be very handy to help you to know how to calculate this kind of operations. So, here this is called as the cash flows, and which is the difference between investment and the kind of returns, and since it is a long term kind of structures. So, it need to be discounted. So, that means technically if you put this much of money and it is for 20 years or 30 years down the line. So, every year with the expectation that some return will be coming into the picture, and what should be the present valuation. So, now this is something called as financial analysis altogether. So, since the future returns we need to balance with present investment. So, the particular component needs some kind of discounting, and the down part is called as discounting. It is something mathematical formula, but it has lots of financial interpretation, engineering interpretation. So, that means simply understanding is that this is a net return, and then this will be discounted over the years. So, now if you will simplify, so it is nothing but f 1 by 1 plus I to the 1, f 2 by 1 plus I squares, something like that. So, that means it's something called as timeline. So, you start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. So, now this will go to the present value, this will go to the present value, this will go to the present value. So, that means when t equal to 1, then you are here, t equal to 2 you are here, t equal to 3 you are here, t equal to 4 you are here, like this. So, now ultimately at the end of the first year, so how is the kind of balance, then at the if you continue up to second year, then how is the kind of balance, and it will continue till I mean once you fix the particular timeline. So, so fixing a particular timeline. So, you need to have some of the net balance, and that to be discounted over the time. So, this is how the kind of calculations, and Excel has a beauty to report within kind of second as per your particular command and the kind of instructions. So, that means at the end of the day what I like to suggest that Excel function has a lots of advantages, and there are lots of complex problem can be solved through these actually Excel functions. So, now to continue this particular example. So, this is how the simple elaboration. So, this is the first year component, then the kind of second year component. So, this technically, so this is the first year, second year, third year, and so on. Then finally, this is a initial investment, and these are the future returns, and that to discounted. So, this is actually a at present the kind of investments is, these are all future expectations. So, obviously, it will be discounted through a component that is called as a present value interest factors. So, these are all actually financial term. In order to know details about these things, you can use any kind of corporate finance book or any kind of financial modeling book. So, to know in details, but ultimately our idea is not to go for financial analysis or something more than that. But the thing is that how Excel functions can be operative as per the particular engineering requirement. That is the that is how we are citing these examples to understand or to justify that Excel functions and Excel use are very relevant for engineering econometrics or any kind of engineering problem. So, to continue with this particular examples, let me give an actually a kind of a snapshot about the Excel operations. So, this is actually 12,000 is the means technically what I can say that so this is actually the kind of mathematical functions. Now, to analyze this mathematical function through Excel, so you have to take a examples, and the example is like this here. So, now initial cash flows is actually CF 0, and these are all future returns. CF 1 is this much, CF 2 is likewise, that means, so this is the first year, this is second year, this is third year, and this is what they call as initial investment. So, now this will go to here, and this will go to here, this will go to here, this will go to here, and this down part is called as a discounting factors, and for that we have taken a discounting factor which will be common for every year, but it will be adjusted through the power of this particular component. For first year it will be 1, so second year it will be 2, third year it will be 3, then you have to simplify. So, now mathematically you can calculate all these details, but ultimately there is no need to calculate manually. So, just you go to the Excel spreadsheet and you give the command, and financial modules are there and mathematical functions are also there. If you write the mathematical formula and then you give the command about the sum of this particular series after all these adjustments, then by default Excel will report you the final valuations, what should be the financial NPV corresponding to this initial investment and the future returns and the kind of discounting. So, that means technically once again I am strongly giving the clue that Excel has a beauty for the data analysis and the kind of engineering econometrics and that to solve some of the engineering problems as per the particular requirement. So, now so if you go to the Excel, so just you just report all these things, and see same things we are reporting month wise informations, then there is a fixed cost and discounting rate, and then you give the command. So, here actually see in the Excel spreadsheet we have a command actually. So, just you enter the cells, and then with equality and mathematical formula you have to give the kind of results. So, automatically means see the thing is that if your problem is very clear and the calculation is very clear or formula you have specified, then Excel will help you how quickly you can get the final results as per your particular requirement and the particular information basket. So, this is not so actually big deal. So, similarly Excel has lots of additional kind of functions like so this is how the Excel operation altogether, and all these operations are like this. So, what I can do I will give you the clue here how you can go for the kind of Excel operation. Usually Excel structure will be like this, and this is how the look of Excel, and I have given you the kind of structure how to understand the particular requirement. For instance, this is how the kind of let us say this is a series here, and you like to report let us assume that you are doing some kind of grading, and then grading is possible if you give some kind of conditions. And for instance, here we put if conditions, the kind of reporting here if a score is greater than equal to 80, then somebody will get excellent, otherwise others are simply good. So, if you give the command, then by default corresponding to this numbers 80, 90, 75, 100, 2 and 54. So, now if 80 means a student will declare excellent if he or she scores 80 above. So, then otherwise he will be or she will be declared as good. So, that means theoretically we have a 5 scores, and then this first one is 80, second one is 90. By default they will be called as they can be declared as excellent because their score is 80 and above, and third one is 70 which is less than 80. So, by default he or she will be declared good, and then fourth one is 108, so 102, so which is also more than 80. So, this will be declared excellent, and again the last one is 54, so which is less than 80 and declared as a good. So, that means we are doing now manually. So, what will it do here with this corresponding information, just you go to the Excel sheet and give a command just you put equal to sign, and then you go to if statement, and if you give command like this, and then by default automatically it will be coming into the picture. So, the way it is actually reported here. So, you put equal to signs, then if condition, and then if you scroll these ones, then by default you will get the kind of results. Similarly, you can actually declare other kind of requirement here, and conditions or condition or something like that. So, something more means these are all actually basics, and they are not so kind of mandatory or useful for the engineering econometrics. So, these examples are just basic to know how beauty is that Excel spreadsheet all about. So, I am not going in details, but I am saying that if your problem is like this, Excel can help you to get the answers very smoothly and very quick time. And here what I like to say that this is actually series. So, now you can operate this series with the help of some kind of a mathematical operations or some kind of statistical operations. For instance, you see here if you put equal to, then it is not clear actually what kind of command you want to put, and you do not know what kind of formula Excel has. So, here you see extremely left there is a box called as with average, and if you just click there, so you will find there is indication of functions. So, just you click here, so you will find there are many such indications which we have already discussed in previous slides. For instance, there is average, maximum, sum, if, hyperlink, count, sign, sum of PMT, standard deviation and more functions. So, that means technically here is a series actually, here there is a series. So, now instead of putting equality here, so you can put equal to here corresponding to this series, and then you then you calculate whatever your requirement. For instance, you can calculate average, it will be showing like this. So, then give the indications what range to what range. So, automatically it will give the requirement. For instance, if you put click here, then it will give you average figures. Again you change the order, you put equal to signs and change the command. So, I need maximum of this series. So, you can just put OK, you will get the maximum of this series. The thing is that here we have 5 numbers, and manually we know which one is the bigger, which one is the smaller, and what should be the average, and what is the conditional statistics or conditional informations and or informations. But the thing is that when your sample size is very big, instead of 5 numbers, if you have 5,000, so visual looking or visualization of data and the getting information quickly or calculating something very quickly, it is not so easy. So, in that context there is I can say that mandatory requirement to use some kind of softwares like the Excel spreadsheet to get all these answers very quickly and as per the particular requirement. So, that means technically, so you first report the data corresponding to the here these are all reporting, these are all called as scores, and then you can put here the variable's name. So, that means the variable's name is scores for a particular subject, and these are all scores. So, that these are all called as a data, and against this data there is a variables, and that variable is called as a subject scores, right. And student A 80, student B 90, student C 75, student D 102, student E 54, like that. This is a kind of reporting. So, now this particular lectures we like to know something more about the kind of Excel operations. So, what I have already mentioned. So, you just put some command, then you get some kind of an operation. For instance, let us say we like to transfer this series, so standardize this particular series or something like that. Then again you create a new very data spreadsheet as per your particular command. For instance, so let us say this is what I can write, score is a variables, right. Let us say score is a variables, right, which I have declared here. So, this is a variables, and what I will do, I will do the kind of transformation. So, now I want what should be the log of this particular series. Then I will just go to this another kind of column and give the command, and here in the command I need actually log transformation. So, here you will find there is maximum, average, sum, if, hyperlink and something like that. So, log is not showing. So, what you can do, either put click put option in more of functions, or click on more functions, or you simply write here log. By default some structure will be coming into the picture. Then you just click here log, then you indicate the figure's name and close the box, then you give the enters by default. So, the particular score has entered, you have got the transformation. Now, 80 will transfer to 1.9 1.90309. So, likewise you should know what is the transformation of 90, 75, 102, 54, something like that. So, no need to again go for the similar kind of command, just you actually scroll down this particular series by default. So, every variables has transferred, and now the new series appeared here. So, this is what the beauty of Excel spreadsheet. So, that means when you go for data analysis or something kind of econometric modeling, the original data may not be very handy for the for operationalizing the things or something like that. So, in that context, so you need some kind of structuring, data transformation, data transpose. Then Excel has a beauty to do the needfuls, right. Again, what I like to say, suppose you just put equal to anywhere, okay, and then you get to know what are the functions are there with in the Excel. For the layman's, somebody has no idea what is the beauty of Excel spreadsheet, what are the functions are there in the statistical side and mathematical side, something like that, and you just put equal to, yes, data analysis package is something different, and Excel start is something again different. But before you go to the data analysis and Excel start package, means it is a add-ons in Excel, and here in the simples, without putting add-ons for data analysis pack or Excel start, but you can start with simple Excel operations. You will find some of these mathematical functions are there, some of the statistical functions are there, still you will find some kind of analysis. So, here, so what you will find is, so you will just put equal to, and you click here formulas. So, you will find plenty of options here. You see insert functions in the extreme corners, you will find insert functions, you find large number of operations here, maximum, average, sum, something like that, okay, more recently used, okay. So, these are all you see here. So, it's this particular box will give you the complete message about the Excel spreadsheet. How beauty is that? See here. So, all financial, then mathematical, then statistical, lookup, database, text, some things now text mining, something data mining. So, Excel has a beauty actually, so many things are there. So, you need actually to you need to know the use of Excel. Sometimes some variables are having qualitative information, and you do not know what are the variables through which the engineering problems can be analyzed. So, we need to know some of the qualitative techniques. Now, for instance, here text components are there. So, just what you will do, you put the text component, then Excel will help you to quantify it and then transfer into some form of coding, and that will be very handy for again for the data analysis and the kind of engineering econometrics requirement. So now some of the engineering operations are also inbuilt there. So logical information, engineering, text, database, lookup, statistical, mathematical, financial. So that means you will have plenty of variety. So now if you typically go to, let us say, Starter, SAS or Minitab, something like that. So you will not find such kind of extensive package or extensive features through which do some kind of engineering econometrics analysis or engineering econometrics problem. So this particular package, knowing this particular package, that is the Excel spreadsheet. So it will not be very helpful for engineering econometrics or data analysis. It will be having for other kinds of requirement, like what I have mentioned. There is a financial modules, there is a engineering modules, there is a kind of data mining modules. So different features are there, and all these features are very handy, and they are all required for any kind of data analysis, analyzing the engineering problem, analyzing the financial problem, and analyzing the data mining, something like that. And then for hardcore quantitative analysis, something like data analysis and the kind of text visualizations, something signal processing. So means image processing, something like that. So that means these are all operational things are there, and sometimes what is happening here. So if the package is not available, so you put in a add-on, and then that will be installed, and then you can do the kind of operations. So technically what I like to say that it is a beautiful kind of component and the kind of infrastructure for the engineering econometrics or for any kind of engineering problem, to analyze the engineering issues, or either in a kind of quantitative modes or kind of qualitative modes. Ultimately it is as per the particular requirement. So Excel spreadsheet will help you a lot to analyze the problem and do the data analysis, and as per the particular need and the kind of requirement. So now with this again we move to the particular structure. So that means what I have already highlighted in the case of Excel spreadsheet. So I like to show you that this is a beautiful structure. What I have already shown you this particular figure here. So this is how the operationalize. So this particular picture I have already highlighted. So we have lots of pictures, just you put all, then everything will come. So you just select statistical, then statistical operation will come into the, you select here mathematical, then all mathematical operation will, you put financial, then financial operations will be there. So like NPV, then IRR, something like that. And then again you put engineering, then you will find some of the engineering structure will be there, components will be there, and then you analyze as per your requirement. So that means you just think or you just imagine that what is the beauty of this particular package altogether, or the use of spreadsheet. So by default you should know all these things, and it is not the kind of overall requirement, and it is the mandatory requirement of the engineering econometrics. And when we do for some of the advanced analysis or something like that, that times so the use of spreadsheet is a kind of mandatory requirement or mandatory need. So now, so what there are many such functionality. So we have like what I have already mentioned, AND option, OR option, if options. So you can put all these things, and what we have already highlighted in the previous example. And again, so just you give the indicate the range with respect to the entry, then give the command after putting the equality signs, then this itself asks for the command, how to give the command, how to give the instruction. Sometimes you just find out that command and connect with that command, it will give you the kind of results, or else you can write the kind of mathematical formula and ask the Excel spreadsheet to help you to get the answers or the generation of the data. So, automatically Excel will help you to have these figures. So, likewise we have lots of this is actually if options and the count if options. Then there are lots of advanced functions like VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, index, match. So, when these are all various kind of matching functions or something additional functions are there in the spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet. And so, knowing Excel spreadsheet in sum is a kind of requirement, and that too not only for the data analysis or the kind of engineering econometrics, it is for multi usual multi requirement. So, if you know all these things, then it will be very handy for advanced data analysis, and that is why you must be very careful. So, this is actually bigger spreadsheet, and how you have to go for VLOOKUP operation. You need not do anything else, just you put the equality sign and then you give the command. Automatically from the spreadsheet it will be connected, and then it will give you the kind of results as per requirements. See the match functions, then some of the spreadsheet for business analytics or engineering econometrics, like Microsoft Excel's analysis toolpack, VBA solvers, then Frontier system provides also risk solver platform, premium risk solver platform, Excel minor add-in. So, that means technically what I like to say that we have lots and lots kind of advantages and features in the use of Excel spreadsheet. So, my suggestion is that you must be very familiar with Excel sheet. I am very sure nowadays those who are doing engineering, so they have knowledge on Excel, but knowing Excel is one part of the game, but knowing all the functionality and operation of Excel is another part of the game. But just knowing the Excel, how to enter the data or how to report the data. So, this is actually very easy, and it is kind of we can call as very simple job, but knowing all these functions and how to use all these operations and how to calculate something with the particular information. So, that is the beauty of Excel package altogether. So, now the requirement is that it is not that you only know the Excel spreadsheet, you should know all the operations of Excel spreadsheet, and that is one of the a big requirement and significant requirement of data analysis and the kind of engineering econometrics, because some of the advanced and complex modeling need lots and lots of data transformations, data structuring, data visualizations, and Excel has the beauty to do all these things. And then in fact, for advanced kind of modeling or complex kind of modeling, so these are all actually something called as basics, data visualization, data structuring, data transformations, but ultimately the need is something different, the requirement is something different. But if your first hand information and first hand structure is not clear and how to operate all these things, then you cannot go for complex kind of environment or complex kind of modeling. So, that is why you must know how to operate all these things as per your particular requirement and the kind of need or something like that. So, that means technically Excel package has a lots of modules starting with mathematical, statistical, financial, engineering, text mining, something like that and these are all essential nowadays. Nowadays we are talking about big data. So, you will go to any kind of engineering, you will find plenty of data are there, and plenty of remarks and observations are there, plenty of complexities are there, and plenty of objective can be cited. But now to streamline the process, to make the things operative or something like that, so data analysis and the use of engineering econometrics are the basics or mandatory requirements for for getting the kind of answer to your objectives or the kind of need for your objectives and the kind of requirement. So, it is not so easy. In fact, what I have already highlighted the structure called as simple use of Excels, that to just enter the data and integrate this data with the different statistical function and mathematical functions, which I have already shown you. Just enter the data with simple structure and complex structure with single variables or multiple variables, something like that, and then with the different operations, mathematical operation and statistical operations, financial operation and engineering operations. So, you are expecting something more or something kind of quantifications which can give you some kind of new insights to the engineering problem and the kind of requirement, and then you can solve the problems as per the need of the objectives and the kind of goals. But the means the more important is your the most important is the use of data analysis spec and the use of what we can call as Excel Start. Excel Start is the newer versions and advanced analytics package or analytics tools. Here you will find plenty of quantitative tools are there, not only engineering econometrics tools, but also like machine learning, data mining, and some kind of complex problems like neural networks, wavelets, something like that. So, you will find plenty of advanced tools are also there. So, so knowing Excel and the data analysis spec and Excel Start nowadays is a kind of mandatory requirement. Of course, we will restrict ourselves in the context of engineering econometrics tools only, which may not actually directly go to like machine learning, neural network or wavelet, something like that. Of course, some of the things are connected to neural network or wavelet, but we will concentrate only the engineering econometrics models, which itself is actually big and very interesting and very kind of handy to solve some of the engineering problems as per the particular requirement. So, that means what I like to say, or I will put like this, that engineering econometrics is a kind of potato where you can apply and expect some kind of new insights and new results, which can help you lot to analyze the engineering problems as per the organizational need, the sectoral need, and the kind of your requirement. So, we should know how these engineering econometrics can help to analyze these engineering problems, and for that it is not the understanding of the engineering problem, it is not the understanding of the data. You should know the basic requirements for this analysis, like the use of Excel spreadsheet, the use of softwares, and the integration of econometric modeling, something like that, and to get means extensive picture, something kind of more and more insights, and if you know more about process or the kind of inquiry options, then obviously you will get better results and better insights as per your particular requirement. And if you are expecting new insights or better kind of explorations and better kind of requirements, then you are bound to know all these things. You must have data, you must have the kind of softwares, and you should know the use of the softwares, you should understand the models, and you should know what kind of models and what kind of softwares for that models, what kind of data for that particular model. So, every details altogether you should know before you start the kind of process. Of course, we have not started at all the modeling part, so which will do just after 1 or 2 unit discussion, but in the meantime these are all basics and these are all mandatory requirements. If you do not know all these basics and the kind of requirements, in the later stage you will face lots of difficulty to proceed and to analyze the problem as per the particular requirement. So, so obviously you have to be very careful about this, and so now with this I like to highlight that some of the structure will be like this, that you must be do the homework. So, knowing Excel operations, how to open the file, how to close the file, how to save the file, how to import the file, how to export the file, these are all basics, everybody, even child can do this. But what is need more more important is that, so you should know the Excel operations by using mathematical functions, statistical functions, and do some kind of data analysis within the available data, and after the transformations, after the manipulations or something like that, and then you come with a kind of results which can actually give you some kind of new insights as per your expectation and as per your requirement. We need something new, you need something new, something different to analyze the problem, and engineering econometrics will help you to get such kind of situation or some kind of environment. So, where you will get better inference, better insights, may be very innovative, may be something called as new to analyze the problem and put the problem in differently. And for that you should know, or you should be acquainted with this particular systems. So, that means up to this lectures, my suggestion or my instruction is that you do some kind of homework to know or you should be acquainted with Excel, use Excel operations as per the particular engineering requirement and engineering econometrics requirement. With this we will stop here. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.